orbital fissure. This structure is obtained by the drilling of the anterior clinoid process, and what you see here is the clinoidal internal carotid, clinoidal segment of the internal carotid artery. So now further, if you further drill and remove the optic strut and other entire ACP and the optic struts. So what you see here is the optic nerve. Okay, this optic nerve is being elevated now with the dissectors. So this is the optic nerve, and once the optic nerve is elevated, what you see here is the ophthalmic artery, which arises from the ICA. The ophthalmic artery is seen below the optic nerve, and it pierces the optic sheath and enters the optic canal. So here is the optic canal where the optic nerve and the ophthalmic artery enters. So now you can clearly see this is the upper ring or the distal dural ring. This is the lower ring or the proximal dural ring. And this is the clinoidal segment of ICA. And this is the mucosa of the sphenoid sinus. This is the mucosa of the sphenoid sinus. Hope things are clear. So now the entire parts is being drilled now. So now all the structures are removed. Now, okay. Now adding the whole anatomy now. So this is the V1, the ophthalmic division, and now we are seeing the sphenoid sinus, and then this is the maxillary division, and again you see the sphenoid sinus, and now you see the mandibular division. The maxillary division exiting through the foramen rotundum, the mandibular division exiting through the foramen ovale. And this is the Vidian nerve, which is formed by the union of the greater superficial petrosal nerve and lesser petrosal nerve. Okay, this is the Vidian nerve. This is the Vidian nerve entering the or joining with the pterygopalatine ganglion. Pterygopalatine ganglion. So these anatomy is all important in various surgical approaches. So that is why I am insisting on this anatomy again. So now the entire trigeminal nerve and its trigeminal ganglion and its divisions are being reflected now. So this is mainly to expose. Now you see this is the Vidian nerve. Okay. Now you can, the Vidian nerve runs behind the ganglion and the divisions, the three divisions. So this is the Vidian nerve. You can see here, this is formed by the union of the greater superficial petrosal nerve and the lesser superficial petrosal nerve. So the greater superficial petrosal nerve comes from the geniculate ganglion, whereas the lesser superficial petrosal nerve comes from the otic plexus. Okay, so the greater superficial petrosal nerve and the lesser superficial petrosal nerve joins to form the Vidian nerve, formed by again the fusion of the greater petrosal nerve and the lesser petrosal nerve. And again, what you see here is the sphenoid sinus. This is the sphenoid sinus. So this is the Dorillos canal through which the sixth nerve enters. This is made as a canal by the petrosphenoid ligament. So this is the petrolingual ligament which marks the exit of the ICA or the petrous ICA and also marks the lower border of the cavernous sinus. And here is the sphenoid sinus. So now after understanding this thing, now the maxillary division enters the pterygopalatine fossa through the foramen rotundum. The mandibular division enters infratemporal fossa through the foramen ovale. So these are the two fossas communicating with the middle cranial fossa now. So the maxillary division exits the foramen rotundum and enters through the foramen rotundum enters the pterygopalatine fossa. The mandibular division exits through the foramen ovale and reaches the infratemporal fossa. So now you can see how the Vidian, this is the pterygoid process. So just below the foramen rotundum is the Vidian canal through which the Vidian nerve exits the Vidian canal.